They watched as Adam ran. His end was near. They knew it. After all, they had decreed it. Neither pleasure or malice guided them. It was their duty. Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide, Jason. As the year comes to the end, I feel that it is fitting to address the fates. In Greek mythology, there are three figures known as the Fates. Most say that they are goddesses, also called the Moirai. Among the Romans, they are called the Parcae, and again are similar to the Norn of Norse mythology. In fact, just about every European culture has developed their own set of three sisters who dictate fate, though they may have originated from a much older version. They are said to appear 3 days after a mortal's birth to fulfill their role. Clotho is the first, also called the spinner. Before birth, she weaves the strands of fate for each mortal. Second, Lachesis is the next to act. She is called the Allotter, and it is her job to decide how long you get to live, and some even say that she may mark when your trials in life are to occur. Lastly, we have the final sister, Atropos, or the Inevitable. It is fitting for her, as she is the one whose job it is to cut the thread and dictate when you will die. When she severs the string, you will die, and your soul will be sent to the underworld. They have ended up with a few origins. In some, they are the daughters of Nyx, the night. In others, they are the children of Zeus and Themis. The last one says that they are the daughters of Anarchy, or Necessity. They are an absolute power. Even gods and titans cannot rival them. They don't really get involved much in mythology. Usually, they are observers. But there are a few times that they do act up. During the Gigantomachia, the war between the gods and the giants, the Fates did aid the gods, even killing several giants with clubs, and tricking Typhon into eating a cursed fruit to drain his powers. Another is with Meleager, who the Fates spoke to his mother, Althea. They said that her son would live until a certain log on the hearth fire would turn to ash. Well, what would any mother do? She put the fire out and kept the log safe. But this is Greek mythology, which has an unwritten rule that it must always end in tragedy. Meleager would get into an argument with his uncle and murder him, and his own mother threw the log onto the fire, then causing her son's death. Now, contrary to Disney's Hercules, the Fates are not shown as three old women sharing one eye and one tooth. That is in fact the Graea. In most myths, the Fates are said to take the form of old hags dressed in rags. Their eyes are bloodshot, and some even give them snakes for hair. Despite that, many accounts do show them as young and beautiful. Generally, they are shown to be cold and merciless. However, this isn't them being evil. No, they are pragmatic, and are doing what has been ordained. You will live because you are meant to live, and you will die when you are meant to die. No more and no less. Other times, they may come off as mysterious and elusive. I want to take a moment to appreciate how psychotically powerful they are. They are the embodiment of destiny itself. They dictate the length of your life, some of the challenges which you will face, and when you will die. Oh, and they have powers over gods themselves. Neither the Gigantomachia or the Titanomachy could be one without them. They are the arbiters of how things will play out. And here is where things get dark. They are the past, present, and future of the world. They know what has been, what is, and what too shall be. So it is possible that their every action is designed to guide the universe to a particular ending, longer or shorter, better or worse. And this makes me wonder what they are attempting to bring about. Now, I can't attest if their actions are good or evil, but I would definitely wager that they fall under the lawful category. Most likely, I would say lawful neutral. They are agents of the natural way. And this may be why we rarely see them taking direct actions. They are not the ones making the world progress, but are instead the observers and recorders of it. Each person is given a strand of thread, which is marked by their life. Now, it shouldn't come as a surprise that so many cultures would develop such a similar character in their mythologies. Not just European, but elsewhere in the world. Everyone holds fears and concerns regarding the future. Will I marry? Have children? Will it be a bad winter? How long will I live? At some level, it will always be there. And for some, feeling that is all predetermined can be relieving. It can allow you to place the blame elsewhere, rather than on yourself and luck. Though I am curious as to the true origins of such a myth. It is likely a very old myth which is now lost and changed much across the world. Personally, I do like the idea of them using a thread. If every person is a thread, when taken together they form a tapestry. Each thread interconnects and pulls on others to create an elaborate image which is the world. Wouldn't you agree that the idea as a whole is impressive? Normally, my next section would be how would you battle them? Except, well, the third sister's name perfectly sums it up. She is the inevitable. Nothing can change the fate which has been dictated for you. Mythology around the world is quite literally filled with tales of those seeking to change their fate. And guess what? They all fail. Let's look at a few. We have the king and queen of Troy, and there was a prophecy regarding their newborn son Paris' birth. He was meant to bring the downfall of their kingdom. And guess what? He started the Trojan War, which brought forth the end of their kingdom. We also have Perseus. His grandfather had been given a prophecy that his daughter would conceive a child who would kill him. So, he imprisoned his daughter and gave us the baseline of Rapunzel. Eventually, she had Perseus with Zeus and escaped. Mind you, Perseus is actually an incredible stand-up guy for Greek mythology, and never sought vengeance against his grandfather. But he still killed him. By accident, mind you. But yes, Perseus did kill his grandfather. And we get the story of Meleager. He was destined to die when the log burned. His mother even tried to protect him and failed. Well, until she sought to kill him for murdering her brother. It is very rare that anyone does anything to defy destiny and succeed. So if you find yourself in a fight against them, well, you will probably lose. They know when you are supposed to die. So why would they face you when you must survive? Even Zeus, leader of the gods, couldn't handle them. And for a change, I say we take a page out of his book. Not the seduce them trick, which he and Poseidon are known for, the not trifling with them one. In this case, my difficulty rating is simply don't. Okay, got that? Good. But what about working with the fates? That is a different story. Or to be more accurate, one which will happen. They have decreed that you will live until you die. So they say that you will live, then you will. Now that doesn't mean your quest will be easy. Only that you are not destined to die. Of course, they could be lying, and that is a chance. There are also a few very rare occurrences where you can convince them to change their minds. But those are the exceptions. It might need divine aid to convince them. But there's one very important option which I have not touched on. And it would be difficult and probably impossible, but if you are a clever enough thief, could you steal their equipment? Prevent them from cutting your thread of life? Well, if you achieve that, you are immortal. It won't be easy, and you'll need to be quick, but it is theoretically possible. Yet it could also be used for assassination. Take their tools and sever the life thread of any foe you have. They'll drop dead instantly. You could end a war in a minute. Okay, mind you, that comes down to finding the threads of your foes, but it is possible. Of course, you might be left to wonder, is it the fate's plan that you did? But if you could pull it off, why hasn't another god performed such a deed? Like say Zeus and Hermes? Hades with his cloak of invisibility? Well, Hades does work with the fates heavily, so he could probably just ask them for aid. Adam ran. That was all he could do. His end was near. That thought filled his mind, and all the while the fates watched. The thread had already been decided, and things were playing out as they had ordained. The fates are a mysterious group of goddesses to be sure. Their role in dictating the fates of mortals, and even wield influence over the other gods. They are probably one of the most powerful deities you could find. They are an absolute. Thank you for watching, adventurers. Please return next time for a myth. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.